Alrighty, today we're talking about food, eating, diet, all that good stuff. I'm actually quite surprised at how often I get asked about my diet and what I eat. I don't think it's very interesting, but I'll give you my take on it, and maybe somehow it'll help you sort out your food thing, and we can food things together.
I like to eat. I like to eat. I like to eat, tea.
I guess if I think back, food has been kind of a big deal in my life, and I never really give it too much thought because I eat what my body craves. I give it what it wants. And through the years, it's definitely changed. So let's just talk about it. I guess my food story starts as a little girl. I was a gymnast growing up, and then I was a rhythmic gymnast, and I was a dancer. I've always been really active. So food has been a really integral part of my upbringing. You're training, 10 hours a day. You have to make sure that you are eating enough to get the energy you need. And actually, in my case, that was not what was happening at all. So in rhythmic gymnastics, the aesthetic of the sport is a really thin, lean body. And not just lean, but like skinny, like thin, like sickly thin, which is unfortunate. I guess the reasoning they have for that is that the lines of the body tend to look better if you're really thin. I don't know if I believe that, but whatever. Every sport has its aesthetic. Rhythmic gymnastics happens to be a really thin, lean body. Due to that, a lot of rhythmic gymnasts, not all of course, I'm generalizing, do have eating disorders, this false body image of what you really look like. In my case, I wouldn't say I was really anorexic or bulimic or anything like that because I didn't have a distorted body image at all. I always felt really comfortable and really good in my body. But because this sport demanded me to be so thin, I had to have this kind of body, this very lean body, in order to actually win international competitions. It's really that crazy. I took my career and my dreams really seriously, and so I sacrificed food in order to make those dreams come true. That might seem really crazy to someone that isn't or has never been in a sport that in depth, but it's part of the sacrifice, part of the dream, and you gotta do what you gotta do. Therefore, my diet was very limited. And I'm not gonna tell you what it is because I don't promote it at all. But I was definitely starving myself for the dream. And I remember it was really hard because I did not have a distorted body image at all. I loved my body and I loved food and I wanted to eat the world. There's nothing worse than being hungry. I really don't think there's anything worse than being hungry and not allowing yourself to eat or not having the means to eat. It's a really difficult mindfuck thing, really. And so if I think back at food in a really realistic way, back to those times, it was really traumatizing. I remember having dreams and watching chicken legs fly by, and I would just try to grab the chicken legs and then wake up, in complete horror with my stomach eating itself, and it just wasn't cute. But it was my decision. No one forced me to do it. It was part of the dream, and that's what it was. Do not promote starving yourself, and I do not agree with it, and let that be said. At age 18, I kind of ended my athletic career. And the biggest reason was actually because I was starving. I was hungry and I was tired of being hungry. And so I decided, I want to eat. And so I quit. I was supposed to go to the 1996 Olympic Games. I had qualified. I was at the top of my sport. Everyone thought it might be the first U.S. rhythmic gymnastics medal that might happen in the 1996 Olympic Games in Atlanta. And I quit because I was hungry. I was hungry. I just wanted a little peanut butter. I'd never tasted peanut butter, ever, because I was always training. So what I'd do in order to not be hungry, I'd just smell the peanut butter bottle and imagine what it would taste like. So the first thing that I had was peanut butter, and man, oh man, delicious. So then what happened was that I ate everything. I ate the entire world. I went from one extreme to the other. I quit. I was hungry. I wanted to taste everything. And it was food. And my body was so malnutritioned that it literally just like a sponge sucked up every single calorie that I ever put in my body, and I kind of blew up a little bit and gained a lot of weight very, very fast. But you know what? I really wasn't phased, never really cared about what I look like. I do what I need to do, I do what I want to do, and I wanted to eat, and so I ate, and I felt good. And you know, the boys didn't mind a little booty, I'll tell you the truth. And then I got over that. I had my fun, I ate everything, and I was like, all right, it's time to get fit again, but for real fit, to feel good, to understand what food is. The truth is I had no understanding of what food is. Food to me had been something that I couldn't have. It was like bad news. And then it was something that I abused, you know? I just ate so much of it that I didn't even taste it anymore. It's time to pull myself together and make sense of this whole food thing. I really didn't know how to eat. I remember going on the craziest diets. I went like on a cereal diet where I would only eat cereal. That was dumb. Went on diets where I would only eat bread. Weird, I don't know. Starve myself to maintain weight, but then I was hungry, so I'd eat everything, and then I'd starve myself again to lose it. It was just all over the place. I was really just trying to understand food. So eventually I started eating normally, whatever that means, you know, like 3 meals a day, some snacks, being super active. My body neutralized itself. I definitely still had some stomach issues from the crazy rhythmic gymnastics starvation situation. That sucked. But my body was starting to figure itself out. And then I went through a phase where I was just always bloated. Why am I always bloated? I'm Argentine. So I grew up eating a lot of meat, a lot of dairy, a lot of pasta, a lot of bread. That's kind of what the Argentine diet is. And never really thought much of it. And then I realized I really wasn't eating much fruit and or vegetables, but my body was always really fit because I was always really active, so I never thought much of it. In my 30s, I started to be like, I'm not craving those things anymore. I wanted more fruit. My body was craving more vegetables, so I started, bringing them a little bit more into my diet. And I'll tell you, when you bring those things into your diet and you're not used to it, there's something that happens that we just need to talk about, and it's called gas. Lots of gas. And I was like, ooh, this is no. So I hung in there for a while, and eventually again the body neutralized. So when you're doing things and you're eating things, it takes a minute, I think, for your belly to kind of figure itself out. At least that's what I have found in my body. All our bodies are different, so everyone's gonna do what they do. Oh, Capo just came into the room. Capo, you interested? You want to know about my diet? He doesn't. I'm 39. I'm turning 40 in a couple months. A year and a half ago. I sat down and I had a piece of meat. And for some reason, out of nowhere, completely repulsed me. I wanted to throw up immediately. And it kind of freaked me out because I've never thought about not eating meat before that, never questioned it. Definitely, I love my dog, and I thought, well, this doesn't feel right that I'm eating an animal like my dog. I had that, but I wasn't ready to transition into any sort of vegetarian or vegan diet. And, to me, you can't be pressured into that kind of stuff. It really has to come when it comes. It has to come on a spiritual level. It has to come on a body level, especially when you're highly active, like myself. Not that you can't be an athlete and be vegan or vegetarian, because you absolutely can. It's been proven, it's been done. In fact, I'm doing it right now. But I just wasn't ready. I think everything is just time, and it comes with time, and you have to just be patient and do it when it feels right for you. Because if you don't, if someone pressures you into doing something that you're not fully engaged with or comfortable with, you're not going to do it for long. It's not going to last because it's really not something that you want. So I waited and I had that piece of meat and I was like, this is nasty. And for some reason, it really, that whole thing came in my brain, was like, oh my God, I'm eating my dog and this is not cool. And from then on, I kind of never went back. I just couldn't release that image from my mind and the texture in my mouth. And so that was it. No more meat. Once I had no more meat, my body just naturally in time started to cleanse itself, and I just didn't want certain things anymore. I started not wanting dairy as much. I feel great. There's no more bloating. I crave only the good stuff. I used to have a really, really bad sweet tooth, and even that, like the other day I tried to have something really sweet and I was like, whoa, too much for my palate. Here I am today. I don't know what I am. Really don't like labels. I never in my life imagined that I would be eating the way that I'm eating. And I feel good, so I'm gonna continue to do it. I hope that it only gets better with time. I continue to learn about food. It feels really good to eat right for myself, and it feels really good to eat right for the environment, for the animals, for the world, for the planet. I can always do better, for sure. It's not exactly where I'd want it to be yet, but I'm taking my time, continue to listen and learn. So that's my food journey. I don't know. I hope it helps you guys. Eat like you love yourself. Eat with love, I guess, is the overall theme. Love you.